Hi there, it's David John, the Resourceful Coach, and what we're going to talk a little bit about today is stopping that slice, but we're going to talk about three key fundamentals that if you get these three things right, it's going to give you a great chance to get rid of it. Now, number one, we're going to go straight in there. Number one, your grip. Always for me, I would say the first thing that I see is the understanding of how your hands should be positioned on the club and how that will help you to hit a much straighter ball, or I'm a big believer, create a shape of shot that you're happy with. But a slicing shot is a shot generally we don't really want. And there's two reasons for it. A slicing shot, just to understand, is a ball that would start maybe left of target, but then finish right of target. And it creates two problems. One, you're going to miss the target to the right. That's the biggest one. Two, the likelihood is you're going to lose power, which most golfers, anything we can do to maximize your power, you're going to be happy. So your hands are so important. So let's go through, to start with, what we'd call an orthodox grip. And I look for two things when I work with people on their grips. When I pick something up, I touch something, I want to use my fingers. So I always want to feel I'm holding the golf club very much in my fingers. And then number two is I want to get my hands on the golf club as close to the most natural position that I do day in, day out. So if I was just relaxed or walking down the street, my arms hang in this position. And you can see from the camera there, both of my thumbs hang slightly inwards. Okay, my thumbs don't go dead straight forwards. So that's a really important thing to understand, is that when you hold that club, we want to grip it in the fingers, but then get our hands as close to our natural position as possible. Now, I've done other videos on the grip, and there's one where we do sort of a routine where we shut our eyes just to get your natural grip. It's only a 2-minute video. Go and watch it, because it will help you with your grip, okay, to find out whether you're in your right position. But as a guideline, what we'd like to feel, we grip in the golf club very much through the middle joint of my forefinger, runs across the base of my next three fingers to a little crease below my little finger in my left hand. And what that allows me to do is it gets my left thumb, which if you're a right-handed golfer, that would be your glove hand, allows my thumb to go right of center. Because remember, that was its natural position. So I've done the two things, in the fingers, thumb slightly off center. Now the other hand, this is easy. Got that hand on, now I can just relax that hand, let it swing in. Again, middle joint of the forefinger, through the fingers. And now that thumb should go slightly left of center. So you'll feel that covering your other thumb. And then you join the hands as you wish. I interlock, so just lightly interlock into that position to feel that position. And what we're going to show you, that's a neutral grip. So let's put a little gadget on the club head here to show you what we're looking for. And what we're looking for, if I've got that correct, you can see on the camera there the angle that's coming away from the club face. Okay, and also a couple of things you can look at. If I look down at my grip now, we form a V between my thumb and my first finger there, and I want that pointing anywhere really between my chin and right shoulder. But I tend to say to guys, look, point it at your right ear, and it's an easy one to remember, because when you put the right hand on, that V will be pointing in the same position. So if I get that position, and then you can see the position of the gadget on the club face, I've now got a pretty neutral position to work from. So let's look at the fundamental. That's what we want to do. If it's wrong, how it can cause a problem. And what's interesting, what we're going to show you with the three fundamentals we're going to go through, you can be doing it the wrong way that we would expect you to do it, to show and highlight the problems. But what we find people is they overcompensate the other way, and it can still cause the same result. Okay, and I'm going to explain that as we go along. So a weak grip is normally the culprit, in a sense, to cause a slice. And a weak grip doesn't mean you're just gripping it lightly. It means, compared to my correct position, my hands are too much round as a right-handed golfer to the left side of the grip. Remember, the camera's looking from the other angle here, so it'll look like the right side, but that's more round to the left. So if I take that hand off, and you can now see the palm facing more towards you, my natural position is to be there. So even if I just have my left hand on the club, and now I turn it to where it naturally wants to go, you can see how that's changed where that club face is pointing. That club face is now pointing way, way right. Now that could be both hands could be round there, and that could be influencing the club face. It could be just one hand. You could have one hand correct, one hand wrong. So I've got my right hand incorrect here. That V now is pointing over here rather than my right ear. It's pointing at my left shoulder. He now points at the right ear. Look how it opens the club face up. So that's the most common way. We call it a weak grip. But because of things like, and I'm on it so I can't complain about it, but things like YouTube, people now go onto YouTube and they think, oh, I've got a slice, I must get a strong grip. So a strong grip is now the opposite way. We're going round, too much round to the right. So it's there, and then the back of that hand would turn. So what that would do to the club, okay, show you the difference, it should do that. But amazingly, I see so many golfers out on the golf course like that, and they're now scared it's going to go left, i.e. hook. They then start to compensate with their wrists, and that's the worst thing. We don't want compensations. Compensations create inconsistent strikes, loss of power. It's not going to work. So we want to get it as neutral as we can. But if we've got that V in the wrong place, we talked about the weak grip being round there, that would open the face up. If I've now got it missing my shoulder, that would now close the face. But again, if you're now worried it's going to hook, you're going to come in and compensate through the ball, and you're not going to get a decent strike on the ball. So there's our first fundamental. Get the grip right. That gives you a great chance to hit the ball where you want to go. As we go through this, we're going to hit three things, and a lot of the time we're going to be talking about compensations if you get something wrong. So the first part we went through was talking a lot about the club face and how the grip was going to influence that. Now we're going to talk a lot more about the body and how that's going to influence the path of the swing. And these are the two key parts to any golf shot. Path of the swing is the journey the club makes through the ball. The club face position is where it's pointing when it hits the ball. And if these two are in balance, you'll get the shot you want. If they're out of balance, that's where we get inconsistency. So the second thing I tend to see then after the grip is people's body alignment. And what we're looking for, we're playing a shot down here towards the green, is we want the club face to be in that position. And ideally, we would like the body to be running what we call parallel to our intended target. And that would give us, again, the opportunity as we swing the club to feel then as we swing, we can now swing through the ball towards the target. If we do that correctly with a square club face, we're going to have a lot of success. So now what I start to see, again, the fundamental where it would go wrong is what would cause a slice. Well, now a golf swing that would go more this way through the ball, and then we would start to open the club face up to compensate the fact that we're going left. Okay, and it's a little bit chicken and egg. Whenever I say this to my lessons when they come in with these faults, I say we probably don't know which has caused this. Is it the grip that started first and then you've adjusted your setup, or was it your setup and then you've adjusted your swing and your grip to do that? We'll probably never know, but we need to find out for the golfer how we can resolve this problem. So if the golfer now is aiming, you can see I'm aiming my body a long way left compared to my alignment sticks. The swing now, if it was orthodox, is now going to swing through the ball to the left, more towards this tree just ahead of us, and I now have to compensate with the club face. I'd now have to change my grip and hands to try and get that ball online. But what's interesting, rather than golfers go to the practice ground and get it orthodox, what they will tend to do now is close their stance. And they think that's a good thing, because now they think, well, I'm not going to go left. So what can happen now is, yeah, you should start to swing right as you go through the shot. And amazingly, the second and the third fundamental that we're going to talk about are caused by this problem. Bad alignment is the second fundamental. The third fundamental is your takeaway, or swing away, whichever way you call it, which is the initial movement of the club as you go back. Now, what you've probably done as you've played golf is you've played golf for a period of time. You've got a mental picture of what you think is a good swing. It could be an Ernie Els type player, it could be Tiger Woods, it could be Justin Rose, it could be anybody. And you've probably got this mental blueprint of what you think is a really, really good swing. And if you sense your swing go offline, here's that key word again, you will start to compensate somewhere in the swing. So the most common thing I see that is wrong when people slice the ball, we're down to the third fundamental in that swing away, is they've aimed their body to the right, and now what they sense is the swing is swinging in here. So now the golf swing is now going to swing to the right of the intended target. But they don't want to do that. They want to swing it down the line. So what do? They start to come down from this inside line. They start to swing over the top to get back on the correct line. And because the body senses now I'm changing the angle as I come down, what happens then is the brain, even though I may have come down the correct line, is going to naturally open the club up. And that opening the club face up is what's causing the left to right shape, the slice. So can you see, actually creating what feels like a drawing position, getting there and now swinging in here, unless you swing that way and you rotate the club correctly to get the draw, you will start to swing. The expression we use is you start to swing over the top. And as soon as you swing over the top and you now start to get outside the yellow line, you've overdone it, you're now swinging left. And now we see lots of horrible things in people's swings. We get here and we're back here and we're falling off the ball and the weight and the body isn't in the right position as we hit the shot. So you can see how these two fundamentals, the alignment and now the takeaway, are so important. So again, what we would like to see, let's go orthodox, let's get it right. I've got my feet nice and parallel to where I want to go, and we're going to create another parallel position. If I swing correctly to here and stop, you can see the shaft of my club is running at the same angle as the line going across my toes. That's as orthodox as they're going to be. From that position, I don't need to get to the top and go this way, because why would I? I don't need to. I'm in the correct position here. I can let it come back to the ball to hit the ball the way I want to. So if you're encouraged to get on that inside line, unless it's a drill that somebody has given you to get that feeling of swinging that way, it's not the way you want to swing the club. I think David Ledbetter, one of the best coaches ever, he called it the dead zone. He always felt that if a golfer got in here, one, you were very trapped, or two, you would make that over the top swing. So you would end up in a poor position as you come down. So what I always want to do as much in my videos is show you the orthodox position. So if we look at those three fundamentals, we talked about the neutral grip, okay? If the grip gets weak, that could open the face up. If it gets strong, you could then manipulate. If we look at the alignment, I want the club aiming where I want to go. I want my feet parallel. Obviously, if I'm standing open, that creates the path now to go left. If that's going left, I'm going to have to open the club up, otherwise the ball is going to go left. If I then close my stance, it can make me feel I'm going to swing more on that inside line, and then from there I'm going to come over the top on the way down. So even then, as I said, unless it's a drill and somebody's working on something with you, we want to be as orthodox as we can. But again, we don't want to swing in here. If you're swinging in here, look straight away, I've got to come over the top. And all the time, as you can see, as I'm coming down now I'm opening the gadget up to compensate it. And I'm turning my 7-iron into like a 9-iron. So a lot of people come to me, big, strong guys, they've got this swing, and what's causing the issues then is they're opening the club face, they're turning their 7-iron into a 9-iron. And they go, well, my mates who are smaller than me, less powerful, hitting it further, because technically they're better. So those three fundamentals are so important. Get the feeling that when you're in that position, everything can come back. Check that position. Okay, make sure you're nice and parallel. If that's correct, you know the grip's good, you've got the V's in the right position, your body alignment's good, straight away these three fundamentals are going to give you a great chance to hit a straight golf ball. Without them, there's that key word again, compensation comes in, and that's where you start to lose power and direction in your shots. So just take a little bit of time. Next time you go to the practice ground, double check that grip, get nice and parallel, use the mat on the practice ground, the practice range to help you to get yourself nice and square, and then get that club parallel at waist high. Get those positions, you've now given yourself a really good base, as we call it, the fundamentals, to help you hit that ball a lot straighter and get rid of that slice. I hope you enjoyed today's video. It's going through, again, keep saying it, lose that slice, we want to get rid of it, but get the basics right, it makes it so much easier. If you have enjoyed it, please share it with your friends, subscribe to my channel, press that little bell in the corner, which gives you notifications of when my videos go out, which is every Tuesday and Friday, and hopefully I'll look forward to seeing you soon.